This is Coast to Coast AM with Ian Punnett.
Hey, Memorial Day weekend, let's also remember the victims of 9/11 who fought so valiantly against the terrorists. The ones that did everything they could to try to fight that. Remember that. Let's roll that great Neil Young tune. We'll get to a more open line calls coming up. I'll throw a hi out to a parent of a friend of mine, to the Penchant. If you're up listening tonight, show off with your insomnia gets to you, I say hi. And what about you? If you can stick around, we've got more open lines both tonight and maybe even the first hour tomorrow night when our guest will be novelist Dale Brown. A Time for Patriots. The subject is Battlefield America. Tomorrow night, Memorial Day weekend, on Coast to Coast. This is Ian Punnett. Investors, with some great news for your savings and retirement accounts. I'm reading 2 articles here that predict all up 20% or more over the next 12 months. Once again, Kevin DeMeritt. Kevin, are you seeing the same thing? Georgia, for the past 3 years, gold is down an average of 20%. I see what would those reasons be? We're involved in another military conflict, raising debt ceilings and spending more money we don't have. It's like dropping a bomb on the dollar. How so? We're already $14 trillion in debt with no good plan to pay it back. We're repaying debt with more debt, printing money, and driving debt even higher. How does printing money affect the gold price? Well, the more new money government prints, the less your current dollars are worth. And because gold has an inverse relationship with the dollar, gold prices just keep rising. What's your longer-term prediction for gold? Over the next 12 to 24 months, I see gold continuing to outperform the market. Gold can double what it is today. Is there a no-risk way for coast-to-coast listeners to learn more? The call for a free Gold Advantage Investors Kit and free special reports showing why a weaker dollar can double the price of gold, and there's no obligation. Call now for your free Gold Advantage Investors Guide and special report at 1-800-474-4259. They're Capital, the exclusive gold company of Coast to Coast. Call now, 1-800-474-4259. That's 1-800-474-4259. If you've never experienced gelling, Dr. Soul massaging gel results. Homework to jackhammer. That's because gel is important to change the way you feel. It changes your state of mind.
Well, I can teach my class while enjoying the soft white sand.
Experience all day outrageous comfort for yourself with Dr. Soul's massaging gel results. Are you gelling? So glad I have seen it.
Rise weekdays at 9 on KSMX.
Thanks for your patience, Ryan in Chicago. I'm assuming listening to the Big 89 WLS. Ryan?
Yes, I am. From the WLS. And your former home where it was high 30s yesterday, or below.
You know what? Yeah, because I'm in Miami. I was listening to where I left tonight. There was a frost warning where in the Twin Cities when I pulled out. And I walked into 85 and 20. It wasn't a bad turnaround for 3 hours after I'm telling you. So, yeah, it's a pretty cold spring. It's open lines. Where do you want to take us, right?
Well, I'm going to cover this college topic, and I think there's sort of a kind of unique breadth of experience coming from these different perspectives that people say, you know, college isn't for everyone. For about 6 years from the last year of high school, I worked in skilled labor in a union, and during that time I got my associates, and I also finished off my bachelor's at the Paul there in Chicago.
What?
And now I am 2 years into an MFA at a Southern University. I'm not going to name it. And I kind of have 2 points I'd like to get to. The first one although I'd like to toe the company line per se in academia, and like the idealist in me says that I think everybody could benefit. I think the population could benefit where everybody would have at least 2 years of maybe general education courses. Even a truck driver in St. Louis, I think a better educated public, I mean, it would be wonderful. But then the realist in me, who's, you know, I've had a TA position for the last 2 years, you know, I'm seeing the student bodies where, you know, people are saying the middle class is being lost or destroyed. I'm sort of seeing the middle class of intelligence sort of go wayward. It's either my students are smart, and they're really smart, and they know what they're doing, or they're just, it's almost, I don't want to say a lost cause, but there's only so much you can do when you get to this point, you know, first or second year of college, you know, to really mold or change the students.
Now, to what do you attribute that?
I'm not sure. I can't, you know, I can't really say. I really, last time I called in was when your guest Mark Mullen was on, the Dumbest Generation.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know, maybe it's a loss of critical thought, you know.
Weren't we talking that night about grade inflation, too, to a point where it was, that was a part of it, where people were getting told that they were smarter than they were?
Yeah, we were talking about that. And I also brought up the point where I feel like the critical thinking was sort of going away because, you know, with the rise of being able just to look up anything on Google or Wikipedia, you know,
sure.
Instead of, you know, going through that book and parsing out, like reading Descartes and learning the process of how he comes to these conclusions, you're just coming to the conclusions without, you know, following the path towards those conclusions.
Right.
So I'd like to know the reasons.
That's great. That's valid. Just real quickly, so you're a TA, and so what kind of classes are you teaching?
Well, I'm doing my MFA in creative writing, and I'm teaching, my first year I taught, you know, intro to English, sort of, you know, first year classes, and my second year, this past year, I was teaching, you know, the second year English course, and I was actually able to teach one poetry workshop because that's what my MFA is in. But I really thought it. Pardon?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I was curious to see about, so the students you see, their writing skills are remedial? Are they acceptable? Are they exemplary?
That's the thing. Like in these intro to English classes, I'm seeing students either, you know, there's either can construct a paragraph, they can construct an essay. And it's not like I can teach them some things and they're understanding it, they're getting it. And there's just some students where I'm just concerned, it's like, I'm not sure how you got into this class, and I'm not sure how much there is I can actually do. Because some students are just, I'm trying to explain to them how to construct a paragraph.
Right.
And this is, you know, this is university. I mean, this isn't like, you know, this is a pretty big, well-known university.
You would think by the time they got through high school, they could do a thesis, an antithesis, a couple of basic supports, and a conclusion.
Yeah, and even when I give out the writing assignments, I mean, they're pretty simple. I mean, it's 5-paragraph essay here, where, you know, and I want to know, I didn't hear what the guest was talking about fully. Did he mention anything about the graduate program sort of being a real moneymaker for the universities?
No, we didn't really get into that. We were talking about mostly from the student loan aspect of it.
Yeah.
That was really more of an undergrad as opposed to, because, you know, in my experience anyway, that a lot of the graduate programs are much more affordable than the undergrad.
Well, see, that's the thing. They are very affordable, but in the humanities, you know, you're seeing. See, the problem stems from that for the last 20 years or so, universities across the board, from the best to the smallest, for, you know, Eastern Illinois University to University of Chicago, as tenure professors are leaving, they have this massive crop of, you know, newly graduating, I'll just say people got their MFAs, newly graduating, you know, students who get their MFAs,
right.
To replace them with, and they're not offering them tenure track positions, they're just making them adjuncts. where